Hey everyone, it's Tony for emodels.co.uk. Welcome to part 12 of the Tamiya 1/12 scale Yamaha YZR-M1 build. Oh, I'm getting better at saying that, I think, am I? I'm not too sure. So, this episode, again I won't keep you too long, we'll get onto the staining of the exhaust and the bare metal foil, which gives that lovely well detail. So, you bob off, watch that, and I'll see you at the end of the thing and the stuff for the what's it, and I'll be eating donuts in the meantime. Bye! I'm going for donuts now. See ya! Okay, so let's have a quick look at this. See what's what. You probably can't tell because we've got all this shiny bit in the middle. There's definitely staining just on the inside here, going that way, so it's got a nice little feather coming to the left here. A nice little bit of staining on that rear section there. So we just expose this bit now. This is the acid test. This is where you should see a definite line. There we go. So it's a definite colour change. Let's see get this lighting sorted out. Stay. So definite colour change there. We like that. We do like that. Let's get some tweetings. Gently does it. So we've not quite got perfect lines. The masking was a bit rough and ready, but we can work with that. That's not a problem. There you go, there's that lovely dark shading. That was after. That's gorgeous. I like that. I do like that. So we'll individually mask all this sort of now to get some sharper lines, and then we'll add some more staining in this area. We'll mask this off in here. We'll probably do the smoke there, to be honest. Or shall we? Shall we do that in purple? I can't quite make my mind up. Can't quite decide. Ooh, we might even try yellow. Yeah, let's try yellow. See what the yellow's like. So I'll put that back there for the time being. Grab some more tape. Just off camera I'm doing that trick again where I stick it to the table just to take the not the table, the mat. I'll tell you what, let's leave the smoke there. Let's hide that bit, like so. So now we can get the smoke and this piece at the same time. And again, just off camera, pop it onto the mat, just take the sticky off. And we'll catch that bit there, like so. So we've now got the titanium silver with smoke over the top, and then we'll add another tone to that. I think we'll go with clear yellow. Oh dear, sorry about that, smacking you in the back of the head again. There we go, so X24 clear yellow, we'll see what that looks like. Let's have a play, let's have some fun. I like this bit, we're experimenting. I like this, it's like science, but better. So I'm saying we'll use some clear yellow. I've not put my airbrush back together after cleaning it yet. Well, I hadn't done, I have now. Right, so, let's have a quick test. Ooh, clear yellow, look at that. So again, I'm just going to very gently and very carefully build that layer up. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting. I think I like that. So it's turned the base titanium silver into a slight gold sheen. I don't know if you can make that out. I do like that. But I'm not too sure if I can use that on this build, at least. I'll probably use it somewhere else. It's quite a keen shade. I do like that. What it has done is darkened, well, it's just slightly tinted the smoke area. I do like that. So I'm going to use that. Just at this back end here. So we're just going to tint it a little bit. And do the same here where we have the some just a bit here, just not much. You see I'm freehanding this now. Not so much worried about the masking anymore. So it's just the odd tint here and there. So what we do have to avoid now is using a blue where we've used the yellow. So we've got the danger of blue and yellow makes green. Let's just flavoured it a little bit just to add a little bit of a bit more detail. That's what we had. Just a bit more. There we go. Ooh, that's not a nice noise. There we go. I know the white balance is struggling like mad at the moment with that being there, so just put that away. See if we can get the white balance to settle down a little bit. That section there, I am really happy with that. And the same with 2. I am happy. So I'll let that dry off again a little bit. I'll do a quick colour change in the airbrush as I'm looking around it. So I'm just going to go for a general thing. Now it does seem that the centre section there, as it comes back out from the rear wheel scoop, so it's this area here, show it, this area here does seem to be a funny blue colour. So I'm just going to have a quick play on the test piece again. So clear blue, pop that away there, bring it back in. Well, you can see the big splat then as the thinners came out from the quick colour change. So as you can see, I'm barely touching the trigger for just leave the trigger all the way forward, cut back to air just to dry that off. Come back in with the colour. Now if I overlap a little bit with the yellow, I'm going to This is what I was worried about. It goes a funny green colour if you overlap the blue onto the yellow. So we've got to be really careful with that now on the exhaust itself. So, sorry, I got carried away then. Examining that all on my own. So, very gently. So I'm barely touching the trigger for air. It's a bit noisy, that. Just turn the pressure down a little bit. Oh, I've got run on. Slight blue tinge there. I'll try and get one just across his centrepiece here. Sorry, I popped off the camera then. So again, we're not going too detailed and too intricate. Purely freehand. Get it off. And then there's that other angle. Yeah. We'll drop some in. Across that section there. I've got run on. Oh dear. Let's pop that off. What's happening there is either that's too tight, or because I've done a complete strip down and clean, I may need to drop some lubricant into this section where the trigger pushes in and out. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, this airbrush is quite old now. It's at least 8 years old. Yeah, I'm running on. So I need to drop some lubricant in this section. But that's not the original spring. The original spring, on my very first complete strip, I really don't recommend you do this. I took the spring out. There's a cap at the bottom. You unscrewed the cap, and the next thing you know, my spring went ding! Never to be found again. So that's not the original spring. So that's not helping with that run on. Because the spring I've used is actually too small. So there's a lesson learned there. Do not take your airbrush apart when it's not supposed to be taken apart like that. Oh, you are running on, aren't you? Right. Still got loads of blue in there, so yeah, why not? I'll use knuckle masking. That's up. Oh, you stop running. Right, so I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. Just get that bit in. Alright, so pop that to one side, let it dry. Take care of that, so we'll pour the excess back into the tub. There's not much excess. wipe out. Ooh, big sigh. Cross max 20 in, and hopefully the battery's not going to run out before I can manage to do this. So, quick sweep of all that round. Oh, show you. Would help. Do not spray this through. As you can see, I've got some gribblies in the cup as well. That's just from the paper towel that I've just used. So, because it's not a piece of paper towel as well, do not blow that through. Soak it up. Hit your camera stand. And again. Get it better on the way, you go. Max 20A, and you can see straight away we want all kinds of weird wonderful colours in there straight away because there's paint. Reconnect. Clip blow back. Just get everything re-agitated. Goes a lovely blue colour. Again, don't spray that through. It's just asking for trouble. So if there are any nasties in there, you'll blow it straight into your needle. Squeak. Still got a lot of blue in there, right? So this one, do the blow back. We're just checking as well for any greeblies coming back through. There shouldn't be any because this is, let's see, it's not long after I've done a complete strip. So we can blow it through now. Just do a quick blow through. Right, so yeah, that's quite clear. Happy with that now. Because we've got paint in there that's live, there's still going to be bits and bobs stuck down this end, so we're not going to pull that back through this way, because we'll pull all that through into the working section of the airbrush, which will give things up, and trust me, that's a whole new world of hurt. So what we're going to do is take the needle off. I'm going to push the needle through this way. Be careful not to bend it. Trust me, you'll be in a whole new world of hurt. So we're just going to strip this back end off, because now we can work in the working section. Get off. So it's this piece. I can actually feel it then as it went in, as it comes out. That is quite a firm fit. So I'm going to grab some lube. There we go. So grab some of this lube. Now we'll have to check whether E-models do this or not, because I genuinely don't know. I actually got this from an actual airbrush website. A tiny little dot. Just work it around. And drop it back into the brush. Go on. So it's a bit like WD-40 for your airbrush, but it's not. I'm just going to work that in a few times. And then hopefully we shouldn't have that run on now. Oops. So I'll just put the brush back together. Oh, get in. Get in. Swine you. Making me look silly on national telly. I can do that quite by myself, all on my own. Don't need your help. Go. Come on, get in. And then definitely do not over tighten this bit. because this will cost you almost as much as the airbrush to repair and replace. So it's literally there, it's tight, it's done. No pressure at all on that. Ooh, the battery's flashing. So I'll just get this back together really quick before my battery dies completely. Good timing, wasn't it? Right, so that's back together, that's back together. Pop that on. Yay! Problem solved. Right, battery swapped. Airbrush hopefully sorted out. Let's see what kind of damage we can do with the clear red. So that's had what, about half an hour now to sort itself out and dry off and air dry and things like that and what have you. Now I already know that the clear red on its own on the metal will look absolutely rubbish. I already know that. Splat and then paint coming through. So we're going to put the clear red over the blue first, just to see what it does. I'm hoping that's going to turn purple. So just cut square just to get rid of the damp. The damp? I'm not saying wet patch, I'm not going to say it. So it's not quite done what I was wanting it to do and turn the blue purple. I'll address that some other time, Mike, about the payment. Right, so it's not quite done what I was wanting it to do. It's not quite turned the blue purple. So that plan's out the window. So we're going to do a roughly 1-to-1 mix in the cup. See if we can make purple that way. We probably won't, it'll probably just make a mess. But at least this way we'll find out. Now, Alclad, the lovely smelly gooey stuff that it is, do specialist metallic paints themselves, but they also do these kind of tints, but they absolutely reek. But they are actually specially designed for this kind of stuff. We'll put it down. Give that a reverse blow. Who's giggling? Let's see what that does. So we get the red first. And then we start getting black apparently. That's not what we're after at all. Let's see what it does anyway. If anything, it looks green once it goes on. That's quite odd. I'll have to rethink that. That definitely looks green. How very bizarre. Alright, let's try the other way. Let's try with blue first. And add red. Because it is more of a blue purple than anything else. So there's a tiny little bit there again. But also, that was a brilliant demonstration a minute ago. We got the red first before the green came out. Fantastic demonstration that was. I planned that. So it just shows you. That's the point I was going to make. It just shows you how much stuff starts off in that part of the barrel first. So if you can imagine, when we're doing most of the paint and I had thinners first before I had the paint, if we did it the other way around like I did on my ATST build a while back, you get the paint first, and then the thinners, and then paint again, and it's just like really hard to get through that first layer of paint, and it can ruin a really good paint job. So we've got the boy in first, and we're just going to dribble in a tiny bit of red, like so. So going off by eye, that's 2 parts blue to 1 part red. So we'll just give that another mix, and I think that's done exactly the same thing from the look of it. Yep, that's done the exact same thing. So we'll add more blue. See if that'll sort it out. Oh, a lot more blue. Right, let's see what that does. That looks more like purple in the cup. Let's see what it does when I take this to paper. Turquoise. Marvellous. So, let's spray it and let's see what it does. Give that a good mix first. Ooh, it's spitting everywhere. Let's get the blue through, and then we should start seeing another colour come through in a minute. It says. That'll be nice. No, it's still a funny blue colour. Nope, still a funny turquoise colour. Okay. So that's bizarre. Let's add a bit more red. There's point we have no more paint left. A bit more. Nope. We've gone to a really funny deep turquoise colour. So that plan's out the window completely now. I may well have to try and figure out another way of doing that with pastels. Yes, pastels might be a good idea. So I might have to buy some now. Lovely. Alright, now for the fun bit. Just here we've got some ordinary artists chalk pastels. Has to be chalk, don't get the soft boil pastels because you'll just get a claggy mess. These things, as we shall hopefully see now, is just get a bit of scrap using this lovely purple colour. Shift you that way. There we go. So these are literally like chalk, as you can see, and you can probably hear it. It's that lovely gritty chalky noise. So what we're going to do now is taking an old crafty knife. It's probably a bit too much, but never mind. Just going to scrape some off, and then because I don't have any of those makeup applicators that you get with the Tamiya stuff, basically the Tamiya stuff is this. It's just the chalk pastel. The Tamiya weathering powders. So I'm just going to get a Q-tippy cotton bud type thing. Just come away from the logo, come down a bit so we can get proper focus. There we go. Right, so just where that blue is, I'm just going to very gently rub the purple around it just to blend it in, and then come away. Excuse me, come away from the blue. We should gently blowing. We should get that lovely fade that we're after. From the blue into the purple. I genuinely don't know if the camera's going to pick that up because, ooh, it might do. Going off that screen there, so we're getting that lovely little subtle blend. And obviously with a proper makeup applicator, that'll be a lot more accurate than this is. So I'm just going to reload from there, and I'm just going to blend in around where the blue is. and gently blow the excess away. Oh yes, we like that. In real life that looks absolutely amazing. I really am hoping the camera can pick that up, because it's blooming lovely. It's possibly a bit too dark for what we need, but I don't mind. It looks lovely. It really does. Pull that excess away again. Focus, 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 focus. I'm hoping the camera can pick that up. Pop back up a bit. So we're just going to concentrate where the blue areas are, just to blend them in. It's a real subtle difference, it really is. I like that. I'm just got to be careful where I handle this now. I hope the camera can pick that up, I really do. So there we go. See if a white background, a white background will make any difference. Probably not. It does look absolutely stunning in real life. That's kind of cool, I like that. Right, let's get some gloss varnish on that. So I'm going to use a bit of masking tape over this section here, because that's actually going in a black. So let's get some masking tape, just so I've got something to hold on to. So now I've got the little stubs up here, but it's nice to have an alternative too. Put that there, and then get my crooking dowel clip for there. So I've got the two ends now. Lovely. So let's get the airbrush sorted out. Okay, ready. So back at the spray booth with a gloss varnish of our choice. What I'm going to do is just going to leave the trigger forward for the time being and just use air. And what we're going to do now is just very gently blow over the top, and if there's any loose pigment that we just added, just take care of that. I know the camera might be struggling to pick that up. I genuinely don't know until I try editing this, but that looks absolutely amazing. So, just very gently put with the gloss, and hopefully that will seal everything in now. So we'll do a couple of light coats. A couple of light coats just to take care of it. Slightly wetter now. joke. Bare metal foil. It's a hell of a tool to have in your arsenal. Arsenal! Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's going to be fun with the lighting. I've had this stuff for years and years and years and years and years, and to be honest, the adhesive isn't exactly great on it. It's alright, just bear with me also. Trying to find a straight edge. I really should plan these properly and get the equipment out first before I start filming. Back in a moment. This'll do. So, like I say, it's a hell of a tool to have in your arsenal. Arsenal! Oh, stop it. Basically, all I'm going to do now is no direct measurement or anything like that. I'm just going to, with a sharp knife, just trim through. And to be honest, that probably, just looking at it by eye, is slightly too wide for what we need. However, I'm going to go with it anyway. Just get rid of the shiny stuff. Now, the idea is, I just cut that there. I'm going to take the gloves off because, one, they're all knackered and tatty. Two, it's a little bit tricky to pick this kind of stuff up with gloves on. So, using my really, really fine pointy tweezers, yeah, that adhesive does feel shocking. So the idea is, now, I'm just going to wrap lengths of this around to recreate the welds. I say that is a little bit too wide, but you get the idea now. We whacked that round on the welds. The exhaust isn't quite dry yet, but the idea is, let's get a plain background. The idea is, where we did the abrupt stop here, we had a weld right across that seam somewhere, and we just dot little bits and bobs here and there with the tape just to recreate the seams, and in that way we kind of get the texture of a weld rather than masking off first, which I could have done just to protect the silver that we laid down first. Yeah, now add a layer of texture as if there is actually a weld there. It makes more sense when I've actually got around to doing it. I'll just stab myself in the hand with really, really lethally sharp tweezers. Ooh, that hurt. Shift you. Okay, so just off camera I've cut a really, really narrow strip into the bare metal foil, and now I've lost my ridiculously, yeah, there you go, sharp tweezers. So just pull the strip off, tiny, 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 and hopefully the adhesive is going to be strong enough to go on. Just. Oh, I might have to get some more. I'm just going to bob that through there, like so. And then we're going to burnish that down with cotton bud, and hopefully that adhesive is strong enough. Going to patiently work around it. Cocking tail stick might help. I'll trim the excess away too. So that excess there that we don't need. So this is one of those really fiddly patient jobs. There we go. In the middle of my backswing. Ugh. I'm filming, don't disturb me for a few minutes. Okay. Puts the vacuum on. There we go. We now have one weld. Now, what I'm aiming for is, had I figured it out sooner, you see these bands here? I'm going to add those in again with bare metal foil anyway, getting shot. So these bands that we've already got, and these ones here, so I'll relap those with the bare metal foil, which is just there. But that's the effect we're after. So that tiny little lip, we've now added that. Now had I masked that off in the first place, we'd have had a valley instead of a peak, if that makes sense. I'm focused on the background. So there we go. So it's going to be another, I don't know, an hour's worth of driving myself balmy cutting those out, and then it'll be a good one. So I'll do the rest of that in time lapse. Oh, I'll get myself going for you. In fact, I'll drink the cold brew first, and then I'll do the time lapse. So hopefully you've got the idea now of how tedious that job is. I mean, you know, I've literally got 5 straps on, 4 since we filmed the how-to bit. And it looks stunning as it is, but the adhesive on that is gone. I think that stuff's about 7 years old since I bought that, so the adhesive is definitely not there anymore. And it's struggling like mad to stick as it is, so I'm going to have to order some more of that now, so that'll take a couple of days to come through. In the meantime, whilst we're waiting for the bare metal foil to arrive, I've literally in the cup a couple of drops of X85, XF85 even, the rubber black. We're just going to fill in that back box. Yeah. So again, just testing the flow off to the side. We'll come across the masking tape again from this side. And as you can see, I've protected the rest of the exhaust with some kitchen roll. Very, very, very rudimentary masking. So we'll go right way up to that collar. Then we'll flip around and come from the opposite direction. Me being brave, not wearing gloves or anything. Now we can get all those edges, and then we'll come square on. Just to cover the bits that we've missed. So it's literally just blocking in that colour first. We'll leave that for about half an hour to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do the gauze masking again and go over with the black metal, just to give that effect back after the cut. Yeah, I like that one. So really rudimentary. It's my favourite word today, can you tell? So it just clamps on the gauze itself, and we've got something else to hold on to. And literally in the cup, literally got 4 drops of black metal in there. Again, test the flow just to make sure. And just add the colour over the top. Like so. Paint my fingernail again whilst I'm at it. Alright, let's see what that did. Get off. And be very careful because I've managed to poke through the tab. Lovely. So we've got the weave effect again. It's not exactly square, it's not great, it's not spot on accurate, but I don't mind. I like that. I like the quirkiness of the little curves. So we'll give that a couple of hours to dry off, and look at that hair there. Go, get off. Yeah, we'll give that a couple of hours to dry off, and then see what's what. Okay, so I said a couple of hours. It's actually been overnight. Alright, shift you. So what we'll do now is we'll seal all this in now with a gloss varnish again, and hopefully the gloss varnish will also help seal the ends of, come on focus, man of background, should seal in the ends of the bare metal foil as well, just to protect them a little bit. I just noticed now there's a couple of bands falling off in the centre here. So, never mind, we can redo those. So we're just going to very gently, again, give a quick mist coat over the top. Especially on that back box where we've just added that metallic. Quick mist coat. Catch everything else again. Every now and then as I turn this round I catch the purple, especially at this angle here. I can see the purple really beautifully, just on that blue. There we go, that'll do us. Checking with the reflections of the light now, just to make sure I've not missed anywhere. Like that elbow. Okay. So. Shush. You can shift. Let's get the logo back in before it gets told off by the sponsors. Not that it would tell me off, because they're lovely people. There we go. Adjust my lighting. So there we go. In fact, let's come away from the sponsors. Ring. Next door neighbour's off on his bike again. Lovely. Really happy with that. Now, I've deliberately not painted that in chrome yet, because there's a logo decal needs to go on this side. So once this is dried, we'll stick the decal on, and then we'll paint the silver in, and then we can revarnish that. I'll do 2 birds in 1 stone. But that, I'm happy with that. Just every now and then I'm catching purple. It's very subtle, but it is there. Just here. Probably just pick that out then as I span it around. That angle there, hopefully that's catching on camera, because I can see that in real life. Gorgeous. Happy with that one. Happy. Right, so put that off to one side and then I'll naff about and do something else. So there we go, that's how I did the exhaust, which is just about drying now. So I've got to take care of that decal. I'll probably do that one over the next couple of days. Excuse me, whilst I start decaling all that lot. So join me in part 13, where I'll talk you through how I did all the masking and the preparating and the things with blue paint. In the meantime, oh, show the people. In the meantime, pop along, see my mates at emodels.co.uk. It's getting really near Christmas soon. It really is. I'm getting fed up with Christmas songs on the radio already. It's brilliant. I love Christmas. Honest, I do. Honest. Pop along, see my mates. Go spend your money with them for Christmas. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. See, I'm knocking in everything now. I'll see you in part 13. Take care, guys.